Guys, welcome to my page. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to easily change your tire if you get a flat tire or something and you need to change it. This is the best way to do it. So before we start, this is where your jack is. If you go to the trunk of your car, you just lift up the cover and you see you have your jack and your spare tire over there. Before you buy a car, check it and make sure you have your jack and your spare tire in there. It's for emergency purposes. So every car needs to have it. I don't know if every car has it, but I think it's a basic necessity for every car. So make sure it's in there. That's what the jack looks like, and that's how you jack the car up. You basically screw it, and then it lifts up the car. So that's how you work it. That's not what I'm gonna be using, but I'm just teaching you what you need to do in case you find yourself in a situation like that. But that's where it is. It's in every car. Like I said, when you go to get a car, check it and make sure you have them in there. If you don't, tell the dealers to put it in there for you because you need it. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it back and then I'm gonna use mine to actually do it. So So to begin with, you're gonna be loosening the nuts in the rims. So this part is very important because you don't want to lift the car up before you loosen the nuts because that can easily mess your jack up with all the pressure going back and forth. So we're gonna loosen them first. I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to put the parking/emergency brake in place, and that can also cause movements in the car. So always make sure you put your emergency brake in place before you start to loosen any nuts. That way your car will hold more firmly for you. So now I'm going to continue loosening the nuts, and I will loosen all the 5 nuts. And like I said, to prevent any type of movement back and forth, put the emergency brake in place first before you loosen the nuts, and this helps you prevent the jack from messing up. So now I'm done with the loosening. I'm gonna put the jack under the car and lift the car up. And when you go underneath the car, you will see that every car has this pointed edge underneath the car. I'm gonna slide the camera there so that you can see it. You have this pointed edge underneath the car. As you can see, that's where your jack always goes. Make sure your jack always goes there. Sorry, I was teaching my buddy as well, so he was coming in the video. But make sure the middle of your jack sits with that pointed edge, just like that. Lift the car on a pointed edge. If you have the jack with a hole in it, the hole will slide, the pointed edge will slide in that hole, and then you lift the car up that way. You don't want to just put the jack anywhere underneath the car. Those are there for that reason. So now you basically just lift the car like that. You just keep, screwing it and then it will lift the car up. Isn't that amazing how this little jack can just lift up the whole car like that? So we just keep doing that, and then as you can see, the car has been lifted, right? Super easy. Yep, super easy. You just lift the car up like that, and that's all you got to do. So now the nuts are already loosened and your car is lifted. So guess what? You're just gonna go ahead and take the tire off. So now I don't have to do any hard work because the nuts are already loose. So I'm just finding the right one. You don't have to have this tool. You can use the tool that comes with the jack to loosen the nuts as well. I just do this a lot, so I bought this tool to help me with it. But the tool they will give you will always be compatible with the nuts on your car. So yeah, you do it like that. In case you have a wheel lock, you're gonna use the wheel lock to loosen the nuts as well. And now you take the nuts off completely. And imagine if you didn't loosen the nuts first and now you had to do it. This is what I was talking about, moving the car back and forth. that would put a lot of pressure on the jack. So you could mess the jack up. The jack is not as strong as you think. Even though it can lift the car, it can easily mess up. It happened to me before when I started doing this. So I learned my lesson. So just make sure it doesn't happen to you. So yeah, now I'm taking the nuts off completely. And once you take it off, now all you do is just slide the tire off. That easy, right? Just slide the tire off. If it's acting hard, just kick into it a little bit and then it will loosen up and then you just take it off. So now this is what I have. I'm about to put a new tire on. So the same thing, you're just gonna slide the tire back on. This is the hardest part, trying to make sure you line it up correctly. You can line the first one up and then keep turning it to once the second one gets in, the whole thing will slide in that easily. So yeah, I'm just sliding it in there now. And then I'm gonna put the nuts back on there. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm putting the nuts back on there. You just basically screw in the other way and then you put it in there. It's a good idea to do it diagonally. That way you don't put you don't screw one part more than the other. So I've put the first part back in. Once the first one goes in, the rest should be it should be pretty easy because now it's on. You just screwing them back on. I'm trying to move it to get a better way to do it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm moving it and then I'm going to screw the first one on very well to put it in place. It's hard to do it when it's not very well in place. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm screwing it well. So now it's on well, right? I tighten it a little bit. Mind you, when you're doing this also, you don't want to fully tighten it whilst the jack is underneath it, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna put them on, tighten it up a little bit. As long as it is a little tight, that's good. Because when you take your jack off, that's when you will actually tighten it very well. I don't like how mechanic shops normally use a machine to tighten it because when you do that, the bolts can slide on, the nuts can go on wrongly, but the machine will still tighten it. So in future, when you try to take it off, it becomes super hard. And sometimes I've been in a situation where my lock actually broke off because they put it on wrongly. I was getting tired over here, so I had to stretch a little bit. Pardon me for that. So that's I'm just putting the locks on now, and that's it. Put all the five, or if you have four or six, just put all of them back on. Tighten it just a little bit. Yeah, to make sure it's on very well. And then you just go from there. I was being a little lazy over here. Yeah, I needed to do it fast, but I wasn't. So the same way you take it off is basically the same way you put it back on. So now I'm gonna unscrew the jack and I'm gonna unscrew it to bring the car down, right? So yeah, the same way when you were lifting it, you went the other way. Now I'm unscrewing to bring the car down. As you can see, the car is coming down. Is coming down. I'll keep on screwing until the car gets all the way down and then I will take my jack away. So yep, now the car is down. Now I'm gonna go back and tighten the bolts, the nuts very well. This is a very important point because one time somebody fixed my car and they didn't really tighten the bolts. And guess what? I was driving on the highway and two of my nuts just came off. My tire was being shaky. I parked on the roadside to check, and I think three actually came off. So it was left with just two nuts in there. So if I had gone like a mile more, my tire would have just flew off the car. Only God knows what would have happened to me at that point. So yeah, make sure you tighten it very well. Once it's tight and in place, it's not gonna come off. don't stress about using a machine or anything. So I just step on it with my almighty boots, and then I tighten it the best way I can. The more the better. So yeah, whatever you're using, just make sure you tighten it up. Stepping on it is always a good idea because you put your whole body weight on there. So yeah, guys, once you tighten it, you're ready to go. That's it. Pretty easy, right? And if you're wondering how I painted my rims and my calipers, please check my page out. I have videos over there you can watch. Easy stuff as well. Again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Adios.